To Startup Street, data-driven financial solution provider Velocity has announced a 300 crore rupee growth capital fund dedicated to empowering the next wave of B2B SaaS businesses. The Indian SaaS industry is on an impressive growth trajectory, expected to reach around $26 billion in revenue by 2026, and Velocity's fund plans to offer customized financial solutions to meet the dynamic requirements of these businesses. To elaborate on the road ahead, joining me now is Abhiroop Medhekar, the founder and CEO of Velocity. Abhiroop, welcome back to Startup Street. In 2023, Velocity disbursed over 400 crore rupees, a sum greater than the total disbursements over the last 3 years combined to high-growth D2C brands and e-commerce businesses. You now look to invest in B2B SaaS startups. What makes you bet big on SaaS, and how much of the 300 crore rupee fund do you plan to invest this year?
Thanks a lot for having me, Shruti. Excited to be here again. Big fan of the show. We started Velocity 3 years back to fund new age companies, and we felt that they need better financing products. We had been focused on e-commerce and D2C for a good part of the last few years. But SaaS is a very interesting segment for us, primarily because they have very stable and recurring revenues. And that is a stream that we can understand and fund them against. At the same time, these are software businesses. So these are not businesses which have hard collateral available that they can give as a collateral to a bank and get funds against that. So it's a big gap that they face when it comes to their growth capital needs. And we are well positioned to fund that because we understand their cash flows. And we have built a fully digital process through which they can raise up to 5 crores within 5 days. That's the proposition that we have built for them. To answer your next question, we plan to deploy this fund over the course of the next 12 to 18 months. We already have a strong deal flow, but we are looking at an 18-month window over which we will be deploying these funds.
Okay. Abhiroop, I believe you've already made some investments with this new fund. If you could elaborate on those, and how many startups do you plan to invest in? What is the ticket size of the investments going to be?
Sure. So the ticket sizes will range from 50 lakh rupees at the lower end to 5 crore rupees at the upper end. That's the range that we'll invest in. This is a dedicated fund for SaaS businesses only. And we have already made 4 investments, you're right. The kind of companies that we are finding exciting right now are companies which are being built in India, but which are selling software globally, right? We see a big wave of companies like this, which are being built in India, but which have global customers. And they need capital for their go-to-market spends. They need capital for sales and marketing. And we are well positioned to fund that use case very scalably. And then keep on supporting their entire scale-up plan.
All right, let's now talk about Velocity's offering of a fixed-term credit product, which is specifically designed to provide SaaS businesses with financing proportional to 3 to 6 times the amount of their monthly recurring revenue. If you could elaborate on this innovative approach where it allows companies to receive growth capital without the need to dilute their equity.
Absolutely. So I was an equity investor earlier, and I felt that equity investments just do not scale. There would be 100 good businesses out there, but equity investors will typically end up funding only 1-2% of them, right? So the proposition that we have built is that, as an example, if it's a SaaS company which is doing $100,000 of monthly recurring revenue, they can raise anywhere between $300,000 to $600,000 from us through a fully digital process. They don't really have to create any pitch decks. They don't really have to create any projections. In fact, we will plug into data sources that they already have, which includes their accounting softwares, their payment gateways, etc. And we will enable that kind of financing for them very, very quickly. They can use that capital for funding their growth, primarily across sales and marketing. And then they pay us back flexibly over the course of the next 12 to 18 months. That's a typical tenure that we offer for these products.
All right, let's delve deeper into your expanded financing suite that now encompasses fixed-term credit, which we just discussed. It also includes revenue-based financing, revenue-based overdrafts, and credit lines. If you could elaborate on the other offerings.
So one thing that we have learned, Shruti, is that we don't believe that one-size-fits-all approach works in business financing. There are various kinds of businesses. They have various kinds of use cases across inventory, marketing, payroll, GTM, and all of that. And each of these products are geared towards serving a unique use case. As an example, revenue-based financing, it's well suited for businesses which see heavy fluctuations in their cash flows. If you think about an e-commerce business, they have peak season during the festive times. At the same time, they see a downfall after that, right? We believe that revenue-based financing is a great way to fund them. But SaaS businesses, which are more stable cash flows, we can fund them via fixed EMI product also. In the same vein, when we're talking about overdraft, they are well suited for recurring use cases like inventory, marketing spends, etc., which are like monthly use cases of the businesses. We believe that an overdraft product is a good use case for that.
All right. Abhiroop, your client portfolio has crossed 2,000 lifetime investments with 500 exclusive grants funded in 2023. This year, you plan to double your e-commerce disbursements to 800 crores and allocate an additional 500 crore to new sectors, including B2B SaaS. Tell us, what are the other sectors you're eyeing?
So e-commerce and B2B SaaS will definitely be a big part of focus. Additionally, we are also making a big foray in the restaurants and cloud kitchen space, Shruti. So because of the growth of platforms like Swiggy, Zomato, etc., we are seeing that even the restaurants are seeing a good chunk of their cash flows coming from these online platforms. That's a cash flow that we can understand, and we can looking for growth capital because they want to launch more restaurants. And in a similar kind of a model, we are also expanding into the big restaurant and cloud kitchen segment in India.
All right. Abhiroop, many thanks for joining us on Startup Street today. We've unfortunately run out of time, but wish you the very best in all your growth plans and with this new fund.
Thanks a lot for having me over. Thank you, Shruti.
Okay, on that note, it's a wrap on this edition of Startup Street. Thank you so much for watching. It's a goodbye from Shruti and me, but stay with CNBC TV18. More news and updates will continue on the other side.